Il est 7 heures, on va appeler la réunion.
It is 7 o'clock. I will call the meeting to order. Before we adopt the agenda, I think we have a couple of corrections. The copy that the councillors have is the good version, but the version that came out to the public, there were a few errors. The first one is in section 5.1. It indicates that the meeting are dated March 18th. It's really March 17th. And also in the operational budget in 10.5, we included a motion. There are no write-offs this year. That item was included on the agenda by error. So it will be removed from the agenda for this evening. So a motion is in order. Moved by Councillor Hill, seconded by the Deputy Warden. Indicate by saying yes. Contrary, no. Motion is carried. 3, declaration of conflict of interest. Are there any items on the agenda that could bring you to a conflict? If not, 4, we do not have presentations tonight. 5, the adoption of minutes, 5.1, March 17th, 2021, the regular council meeting. Are there any errors or omissions? Moved by the Deputy Warden, seconded by Councillor Poitier. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, motion is carried. 5.2, April 7th, 2021, Council in Committee meeting. Any errors or omissions? Moved by the Deputy Warden, seconded by Councillor Hill. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, no. Motion is carried. 5.3, April 14th, the 2021, the special session of council. Any errors or omissions? Motion is in order. Moved by Councillor Hill, seconded by Councillor Godet. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, motion is carried. Item 6, business arising from previous council meetings. We have nothing there unless there is something you want to bring up. If not, we will go on to 7, the Warden's activity report. I don't have a big report this month. On March 29th, I attended to a meeting of the committee for the edifice in Church Point Church with a presentation with Chris Dottermar. He came to the meeting to see where we were at. The committee is trying to go forward with this meeting, with this work as fast as possible to save the edifice. I attended to a meeting with the advisory committee with HHF consultant for a housing strategy for the municipality of Clare. They presented a first draft of their plan, and the council will see this shortly. And April 13th, I attended to another meeting of the Edifice St. Mary Church in Church Point, and I attended to a virtual committee of the Economic Development Council for the Acadians. Any questions? If not, we will go on to the official statements from members of councils. Any official presentations? I would like to say congratulations to Adrien Como of Sonyville Station to have been granted the Prize of Excellence from the Governor General for the Francophonie of Nova Scotia in the category of Young Francophone on March 18, 2021. This prize recognizes the people whose social, economic, and virtual commitment for the Acadian community of Nova Scotia, and I think a letter of congratulation is in order. Thank you.
D'autres présentations officielles?
Any more official presentation? I have 3. I don't have this very often that I have as much, but I think it's good. I would like to present this evening the Volunteer of the Year for the municipality. It's Josanne Deveau, who who volunteers for the Special Olympics. She helped her sister, and she became an athlete of Special Olympics of Clare, and she is assistant coaching for 4 years. She always worked with the collection of funds, and Josanne herself worked with the Clare minor hockey. She worked with the girls team of Yarmouth, the team of Clare, volunteer for the Clare Health Board. This girl works very hard, and I am happy to present Josanne. The second one, and this is another special award, the National Prize for helpers of Nova Scotia. It is Josanne's mother, Joanne Deveau, and she always worked with her daughter, and she won the national prize for this year. I'm sorry, it touches me, but she was nominated by the Société Madeleine Leblanc, and Joanne is very well received. So thank you, Joanne, for that. And the last one is the father of Susan O'Connell, Louis O'Connell.
Mr. Louis O'Connell, on the occasion of his 100th birthday celebrated on May 5, 2021. We commemorate this generous occasion and wish you our sincere best of joy and health. Congratulations for the...
These are all touching, I'm sorry. Any more official presentations? There is no doubt that it is a special cases. It's nice to see the volunteers like this in our community, the people who work every day to make our community better, and they deserve our congratulations. I will go on to correspondence. 9.1, Robert and Joan Gingle, residents of Hectanuga.
Hectanuga Road, Municipality of regarding Hectanuga Road, Municipality of Clare, Digby County, Nova Scotia. We live year-round on Third Lake Point Road, which is off the dirt part of Hectanuga Road in Briar Lake. We have great concerns about the safety of the approximately 7-kilometer dirt part of the Hectanuga Road, especially since many trees fell in the storm of 2019, making the road more dangerous than before. December 15, 2016, I wrote Gordon Wilson, MLA, about my concerns, but did not hear back. On April 28, 2018, I wrote the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal with a copy to Gordon Wilson and enclosed pictures of the bad part of Hectanuga Road. I did not hear back from either of them. So I have written another letter with pictures outlining our concerns to the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal. I am also sending a copy to Gordon Wilson and MP Chris D'Entremont. Hopefully someone will respond to my letters. We are writing you hoping that the Municipality of Clare has some pull that will help get the rest of Hectanuga Road paved. As we stated in our letter of March 21st, 2021 to the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal, approximately 2/3 of the road is paved. There is approximately 7 kilometers that is not. This road is the only throughway from Highway 340 to Highway 1 and Highway 101. It would make sense to finish the paving of this road. Your help in this matter would be greatly appreciated. Please respond in writing, and you can also reach us at, and they provide their coordinates. Sincerely, Robert and Joanne Jingle.
I don't know what your desire is. How do we address this letter? We could certainly send it again to Gordon that we received it at council, and that we would appreciate a reply. Is that the approach? We will meet with Mrs. Ellenhand. In the future, we can mention it to her about these concerns from the residents. Yes, we could do that also, include it.
It's just that I know what he's talking about. The road's even worse than what it looks, so that's possible. It's one of the worst roads I've ever driven on. I worked down there for several years, and the road is terrible. I think anything we can do to help him out, we should do it. I don't know what kind of response we're gonna get. TIR is gonna get tired of us pretty soon, but I think we should write him anyway.
So
So if I understand, we could include it on our list of concerns that is becoming long, and maybe send a copy to Gordon to explain the situation to see if he can do anything. Do you agree with that? Yes?
Next, we'll go to 9.2, Honorable Lloyd Hines, Minister of Nova Scotia Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal, Service Roads.
Your letter dated January 5th, 2021 regarding overgrown brush along the service roads adjacent to Highway 101. I have been advised brush cutting of service roads has been an ongoing activity in the municipality of Clare, and I understand there are plans for continued brush cutting over the coming months. I have requested the area manager contact you to obtain information about your specific areas of concern. Should you have any further concerns, please contact area manager Pamela Melman-Shand. Thank you for sharing your concerns. Sincerely, Lloyd P. Hines, Minister.
So that's on our list, I imagine, that we have there. So that could be addressed when we meet with her, if she hasn't contacted us by then. I don't know if there's anything you want to add. If not, we'll go to 9.3, the Honorable Lloyd Hines, Minister, Nova Scotia Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal, Sonyville Road and 2nd Division Road.
Thank you for your letter dated January 5th, 2021 regarding safety concerns at the intersection of Sonyville Road and 2nd Division Road. I can advise you that I have requested the area manager to undertake a safety review as requested in your letter. I have also requested area manager Pamela Melman-Shand contact you with her findings once the review is complete. If you have any further concerns, please contact area manager Pamela Melman-Shand. Sincerely, Lloyd P. Hines, Minister.
So once again, if you agree, we'll wait and discuss with them when they come meet us, when they meet council. Now we'll go to presentation of the 2021-2022 operational budget and corresponding motions. Good evening. I will just do an overview of the budget because we looked at it in detail last week. So we'll start with the first page. There it is, a balanced budget with $9,518,557 of revenue and expenses. If we go to page 2, I'll take a little bit more time on this page because this is the biggest part of our revenue, the municipality's revenue. So when we look at the values of the residential properties, we are at $491,162,300. And for the resource properties, we are at $40,719,300. And for the commercial properties, $61,696,300. So the total of all those values, if we put them at 1.04 for residential and resource and 2.07 for commercial, as we have been doing for many years now, the total of our revenue, tax revenue, will be $6,808,682, and so there would be a reduction of $56,357. If we increase the taxes by 1 cent, per property. It would give us a surplus, a revenue surplus of $59,358. So that is what is missing pretty much from this year is 1 cent from every $100 value, for every $100 value of every property. When we look at the departments, different departments, fire department, the area rate that we have at 5 cents would give us $296,789. The 6 cents that is specific to the fire truck purchase would give us $356,147. So that's an amount that we receive specifically for the fire departments. So the amount that we receive for the fire departments would be $652,936. If we go to page 3, I'll always reference to the cover page because that's all the amounts are indicated there. So when we look at the total from the taxes that we'll receive of over $7 million, that will be what I just said earlier, plus the street lights that we add to the tax bills. It is also what we receive from Alliant for the telephones that are still the landlines. That's what we receive from Nova Scotia Power, HST rebate. And the deed transfer tax is also included in there, and sewer services. So if we look at the revenue of the grant in lieu of taxes of $174,267, that's what we receive from the government from properties that are exempt from taxes, but that they give us in forms of grants. Are there questions on that? On page 3. When we look at the revenues that we go from other sources, we have $654,639 in that way. So that's that includes the tipping fees, landfill at $33,000 that we put for this year, I should say. Building permits, all the rents that we receive. So the Veterans Center, when we receive rent money, it goes into there. The interests, penalties that we put on taxes that are paid late, the revenue, tourism revenue, and recreation revenue, that all goes in there. This evening, once again, because we saw everything in detail last week, I won't go in detail in the sub-budgets tonight. For recreation or other departments, are there questions on that? Okay. Next, we'll go to page 5. It is the total of transfer that we receive from governments of $495,717. So that includes the finance capacity grant. We have not received confirmation of what we will receive, but we budgeted what we receive usually every year. There's $40,000 that the province gives us to offer French language services. And there's also $232,629 for the Communauté Accueillante project that we have for 3 years. So this will be year 2 of year 3. Are there questions on that? If we go to the expenses, when we look at the expenses for the general government services, we are at $1,394,885. That includes what we pay to council as honorary, it was increased by 0.3% this year, just like all salaries. That was the cost of living adjustment for the year ending in December. And we reduced the expense, the conference mileage expenses for the council to 15,000. It also includes the IT support, everything that is administrative, salaries, translation, simultaneous translation. This year, the pension, clerk's pension that we had, that's finished. There will no longer be that cost. The IT support is at $69,574 this year, but that includes surplus money that we invested in the cybersecurity that will also be reflected in the insurances that will increase less than in many communities. It also includes new software that we will purchase to facilitate certain tasks that employees have.
We increased to $10,000 the general repairs for the building. The services for cleaning, janitor, that increased also because of COVID. We are asking more of them. And it includes the heating, the electricity, the stamps. We brought them down, postage, brought it down to 15,000. We increased the supplies because we have chosen to put all the departments under administration for what we purchase in papers and stuff. So that increased a bit, but because we are removing it from other departments in the building, it balances somewhere. And we also added $10,000 to the telephones, fax, internet, again on the same principle, because now with the cells will not be in the individual budgets like recreation, tourism, it's all under administration. We increased office equipment and small furniture. We put it to 5,000. The services for assessment from PBSD have reduced this year by 1%. And we also allowed $15,000 for the elections in case where there would be a member of council who would be in the provincial elections and be elected. We reduced in the administration the travel expenses and conferences and training. The insurance, just to give you an idea, this year we had an increase of 17.5%, which is reasonable compared with other municipalities surrounding area. So the total is 126,041 across all departments. Also, we had grants for organizations. We left it at 40,000, which is included in the 3 million. And I think Ronnie would like to say a few words. It is the practice of the council when we read grants to organizations. I will just name the organization and how much they received. I will not go in all details, but the council took a lot of time to go through them and think. So this is the decisions of council. The Historical Society of Baie Sainte Marie, 5,169. Société Expo d'Art Art Exposition in St. Bernard, 600. The Acadian Ball Association, 3,088. Clare Minor Hockey, 1,000. Meteghan Lions Club, 4,500. J&M Foster for Cats, 2,673. The Electric City Society, $2,880. Inclusion Clare, $500. The Bangor Mill Development Commission, $900. Southwest Nova ATV Association, $2,000. Animal Society, $1,709. Declare Curling Association, $2,578. The Salmon River Salmon Association, $1,000, and Clare Gulf, $5,500, for a total of $34,097. Just a little correction, it's Clare Minor Soccer. So on that page, there is only one item that we see an exemption and property appeal for 100,000. This year, we budgeted it lower than in the past. We have 65 appeals compared to 74 last year. So that explains why. Any questions on that page? On the next page, we are going to the protection services. So we start with the RCMP that increased their costs by 4.92% this year. So it represents $1,197,859. So we have a correction also of 10,000, which is similar to the last year's. In other law enforcement, we have a 25,600 that includes the animal control, dangerous unsightly premises, and bylaw enforcement. When we look at the fire departments, the municipality in its budget is giving out $307,407 for training, for operations. It's money that is included in the tax or in the ordinary taxes. For the $672,000 in taxes for area rate that we charge in there, there are $355,871 for the truck for this year, and the balance is given in the form of something that we give them for capital purchase, equipment and stuff. So in total, we are giving to the fire departments $907,010. Also, under the protection services, we have EMO, which includes the search and rescue, EMO operations. It comes up to $29,679. We also have the building inspection and development officer section that increases to $185,442. We budgeted for 2.5 employees full-time in that department. And there's also $38,818 given to the senior security for seniors, for a total of protection services of $2,521,408. Any questions on that? On the next page, the transportation services, we are giving again this year $25,000 for Transport de Clare, and also for the sidewalks and streetlights and the roads, $84,921. So that includes beach access. It includes also the streetlights and the snow removal, for a total of $109,921 for the service transportation. On the next page, we are going in the environmental health services. At this point, the first part, we talk about the sewer. We budgeted for 2 employees full-time. We increased also the budget for the maintenance and the truck and gasoline. And we opened a new account, which is for public works operations, that will include telephone, internet. Instead of dividing this in the 3 sewer plants, it will all be in one general ledger. So for Metegan, we budgeted $39,000 for Church Point. And when I talk about Meteghan, it's Meteghan River and Meteghan Center also. So for Ballywoods Cove, we budgeted 17,300. So the total for the sewer is 237,105. In environmental health services, there is also the transfer station, which is budgeted at 1,361,571. So that gives us a total of 1,598,676 when we include the transfer station and the sewer. Here we increased the budget for the Queen's tipping fees of 1.64%. We also increased for or reduced garbage and waste collection because we have a new contract that starts in October, which was lower than what we had for the beginning of the year. The recycling and tipping fees that we pay for the blue bags that we send outside, we increased it to 130,000 because there was a big increase in the request for this service. For the salaries, we have 3.5 employees. The 0.5 is part-time. We budgeted 139,715. And for the solid waste schedule and green carts, we increased it to 17,000 because our green carts are getting in bad shape and need to be replaced.
Okay, if there are no questions, we'll go to next page. That is the Clare Health Center and all the health services. We increased the total budget for this one, is $714,284 for health. And there we have the medical center. We've increased the office supplies at 11,000. The medical supplies at 20,000, so that's an increase of 2,000 from the previous year. The TELUS service, we budgeted it at $31,000. We also increased small equipment because we have a new doctor that's coming, so we need to be able to have him settle him in properly. For the health center, so the total budget for that is $629,781. We also budgeted $5,000 for doctor recruitment and incentives. Housing commission, we have $48,000 budgeted for that. So that gives us, all those together give us the $714,284. Are there questions on that? No? For environmental and development services, we budgeted $54,757. That includes $9,000 for planning, subdivisions, and bylaw reviews. And the REN, we sent them $45,757. So that's included in the total amount. Any questions on that? On page 13, here we have the community development, where we budgeted a total amount of $981,205. And that includes tourism expenses, recreation. Tourism is at recreation. Tourism is at 154,000, a little over. Tourism is at 168,755. We've budgeted 7,500 for Grand Fondo because there's going to be a Terra Fondo. It's going to be very small, but there's going to be expenses. We have the commitment for the year 3 of 4 for the CMA, for the Congrès Mondial 2024, and the expenses from Communauté Accueillante that are 216,818, which is less than the revenue. So the difference is the administration expenses. If we look next at the building and facilities, that include the Meteghan Library, that is a total of, Western Regional Library is a total of 53,367. So the, there's a surplus there from the municipality for what the province asked us to pay for the library. There's Wentworth Park, Billy Cove, 15,509, that's budgeted. The Hub Culturel is at Metegan Park 3,000, Ground Search and Rescue 3,000. Eco Park, we budgeted the revenue and the expenses for 6 months. So the expenses are at 8,000. The Clare Veterans Center, we budgeted 30,000 in expenses approximately. There is also the tent rental that we have budgeted as 4,500. Cultural services, we have added this year Rails to Trails for 5,000. We removed it from our grants to organizations to include it in our budget here permanently. We also have a project for the FECAN that was discussed at the meeting of April 14th, and we budgeted 3,000 for that. And there's also what we give annually to the Yarmouth Hospital Foundation, that is $5,000. So all those amounts are included in the total amount of $981,205. And the last expense that we have is a $1,836,437. That has not been confirmed. It's for the schools. It has not yet been concerned. We have increased it by 1.5% from what we had budgeted last year. And we added a little bit of a surplus that was added. So we just put it in there to have a number as close as possible. Are there any questions? And the other item on the first page is debenture and loan principal installments that is $207,184. Are there any questions? Thank you for the presentation. So we'll go through the motions, and then we'll have the budget adopted, which is a good thing. So we'll start with 10.1, motion to adopt municipal tax rates. Does someone want to make the motion?
I move that the municipal tax rates for the municipality of the District of Clare for 2021-2022 be set as follows. $1.04 per $100 of assessment as a residential tax and resource tax rate. This is the same rate since 2014. $2.07 per $100 of assessment as a commercial tax rate. This is also the same rate as since 2010. And 25 cents per acre, this is below 50,000 acres, and 40 cents per acre above 50,000 acres as the forest acreage rates.
Someone who wants to second the motion? Councillor Godin, is there discussion on the motion? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 10.2 now, motion to adopt sewer service charges. Someone who wants to move the motion. Deputy Warden? I move that the municipal sewer service charges for 2021-2022 be set at $200 per unit for the following: Metegan Center, Metegan River, Church Point, and Bilbo's Cove. Someone who wants to second the motion? Seconded by Councillor Doucet. Is there discussion? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 10.3, motion to adopt street light area rates. Someone who wants to move the motion? Councillor Hill?
I move that the 2021-2022 rates for the streetlights be set as follows. Highway 1 and Patrice Road to Church Point, $52.31. Highway 1, Littlebrook and Camoville, $33.87. Highway 1, Soniaville, $46.70. Highway 1, Metegan River, $49.22. Placide Camo Road, Metegan River, $61.66. Highway 1 and Peter Dugal Road in Metegan, $33.13. John Thibodeau Road, Metegan Center, $975 because there's only one user. Highway 1, St. Bernard and Bellevue Cove, $32.47.
Someone who wants to second the motion, seconded by Deputy Warden. All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 10.4, motion to adopt fire department rates. Someone who wants to move the motion? Councillor Godet? I move that the 2021-2022 fire department rates be as follows. Fire protection, 5 cents per $100 of assessment. Fire truck purchase, 6 cents per $100 of assessment.
Okay.
Someone who wants to second the motion? Seconded by Councillor Potier. Is there discussion? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried.
10.5, motion to adapt the due date and the interest rate. Anybody wish to make the motion? I move that the due date for payments of municipal taxes 2021-22 be June 30th, 2021, and the interest rate be 1.5% per month beginning on July 31st, 2021. Anybody wish to second the motion? Councillor Doucette, any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, motion is carried. And 10.6, motion to adopt the municipal operation budget 2021-2022. Anybody wish to make the motion? Councillor LeBlanc. I move that the operational budget for 2021-2022 for the municipality of the District of Clare be approved as presented on April 21st, 2021. Seconded by Councillor Doucette. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary? No. Motion is carried. It is nice budget. I would like, on behalf of council, thank Jeanette and Stefan and the whole staff, because with the pandemic, there was a desire from the council and staff not increase the rate, and the budget was really tight. I was here several days that Jeanette and Stefan were working the budget to make sure that they could balance it. And on behalf of the council, a great thank you for your work. I know it wasn't easy. I'm sure the residents of Clare will appreciate it. Thank you. Anybody else want to add something? If not, we will go on to 11, the report of the CAO. Thank you. I will start my report with an update on the internet project, and if you allow it, I will do it in English because the information I received from mainland is in English.
For internet services. Television services are now being offered. Phone services, and this is landlines only, will be available within 1 to 2 weeks. The 1 gigabyte service will also be available within 1 to 2 weeks. At present, the package that's being offered is 300 megabits per second. To date, roughly 135 customers have been added. These are mostly in the New Edinburgh, St. Bernard, and Township Line 340 area. The feedback so far has been very good, and I've heard those same comments. People seem to be very happy. that they're receiving a good connection with local service. In addition to employees, Mainland has hired a local contractor to help complete these installs. And the company is looking forward to having some community events in the very near future to increase awareness of its network footprint, service offerings, but also to recognize the municipality's participation in this project. So if we look at the different phases, I've broken them down once again just to give you a quick rundown of where we are. Phases 1, 2, 3. Well, phase 1, which is Route 1 from Comoville to St. Bernard, is complete. Phase 2, New Weddingburg, Bud La Riviere, is complete, and they're now doing installations. Phase 3, Ohio to Hassett, is complete. The company is doing installations there as well. Phase 4, which is the side roads along Phase 1, for example, Bon Enfant Road, Pointe-à-Major, etc. Those roads are complete, and Mainland is now doing installation on those roads as well. Phase 5, which is Concession, Patrice Road, and Little Brook Station. The highway crossing make-ready work was completed on April 19th. Vista Care is running cables and splicing this week and next week. And the Mainland expects to open up installations in parts of Concession and 2nd Division Road very soon. Phase 6, which is Concession, Saint-Joseph, and the PF Como Road. They're waiting for the highway crossing to be completed, but they have begun booking installations for the week of May 2nd. Phase 7, which is from the Cultural Hub in Comoville to the Amira Road, Sonyville Road, 2nd Division Road, and Eustache-Como Road. The metal strand is complete, and right now the fiber is being run along those roads. Phase 8, which is Sonyville Road, and the C-Sony Road, the strand construction and fiber construction is ongoing. Phase 9, which is Metegan River, D'Entremont Road, and Placide Como Road, the strand construction and fiber construction are ongoing. Phase 10, which is Metegan Connector, Bonnie Road, Peter Dugo Road, and the John Thibodeau Road. There as well, the strand construction has begun. Most of the trimming is complete. However, the spring weight restrictions have impacted this particular phase of the project. It has slowed them down. Phase 11, which is the Sonyville Road to the Maxwellton Road along 2nd Division Road. Nova Scotia Power has completed their work, completed their scope on the week of March 15th. The make-ready and trimming will begin where possible during spring weight restrictions. And there too, from there, the strand and fiber will follow. The same is true for Phase 11, which is the remainder of the D'Entremont Road out to the Salmon Lake area. Spring weight restrictions have slowed them down. However, they are completing the make-ready and the trimming where possible, and the strand and fiber will follow. Phase 13, which is Highway 1 and the side roads from the Metegan connector to Mavillette. Bell has completed scoping this part of the network as of late March. We are currently waiting for Nova Scotia Power to start scoping the proposed route. Phase 14, which is Highway 1 and side roads from Mavillette to Beaver River. There as well, Bell completed the scoping on April 16th, and we are waiting for Nova Scotia Power to start scoping the route. And finally, Phase 15, which is Salmon River Road and Hectanuga Road, including side roads. Bell there as well has completed their scoping as of April 16th, and we are awaiting Nova Scotia Power to start scoping the route. So that is a quick update on the internet file. So things are progressing, and it's nice to see that the installations are starting to occur and that we are getting good feedback. So that's very positive.
For the Veterans Center, we have a finance request that is being prepared based on the information that we have already to submit to the federal government. The federal government launched a new infrastructure project. It is a program that aims to construct community buildings or improve community buildings that exist already. So, especially for rural populations who need them, and also projects that aim to increase the energy efficiency of the building to bring it more functional with a focus on accessibility and inclusion. So really, the program is going very well with the project that we aim for the Veteran Center. There are two parts of that project. The first is for 3 million and up, which is more than what we are looking for Sonyville. But our category is from 100,000 to 3 million, and this is continuous intake. The program is open, we can apply anytime, and the funds are distributed on a first come, first served basis. So for us, it falls well. Most of our work was done. We do some revisions and see that we meet all requirements of the program, and we will submit that project by next week, the end of this week or beginning of next week.
The program criteria says that they can finance up to 96% of the eligible costs of the project. So in that case, we look at a project of what we had presented to council was $1,990,529. So the contribution for the municipality that has been approved would be $537,400. So if we stay at those numbers, we're looking at a federal contribution of approximately 72%. We can play with this a little bit depending on what we want to include as a contingency, but we're not looking to increase our contribution. It would just be the percentage that we ask from the federal. If we want to increase the contingencies, then the percentage we would ask from the federal would also increase. For the Communauté Accueillante project, the arena has been ordered, the 40 by 80. The location was, the proposed location was the Clare Veterans Center. We looked to see if where we put the tent normally for the Grand Fondo. We spoke with Ground Search and Rescue to see if we could put the tent on the cement slab. We didn't think it would be possible because the sides of the tents are pegged that goes into the ground, and we didn't want to damage the slab. But while talking to Ground Search and Rescue, they said it would not be a problem, so we could still put the tent directly over the slab for the Grand Fondo or other events. So we could use the both. It wouldn't be a question of using one or the other. So the location that we seem to that the staff seems to favor is the Clare Veterans Center for that reason, but also because it is central in the community. So that's where we're looking to having the arena installed. Because of the estimated cost of the slab, we will put out a tender soon. With the project of Communauté Accueillante, the team is working with the community agents in the schools to put in place some projects that raise awareness to diversity. We are hoping that some of these projects will be put into place before the end of the school year. April 13th and 14th, the Communauté Accueillante team met with other community stakeholders like the Arts Council, University, and others, Inclusion Clare. Met with Harry Yost at the Rendezvous de l'Abeille to discuss of our welcoming center, but also reorganization of all the space, the theater, the Café Lisette, the museum, the Centre Acadien, etc. So it was really productive discussions. We will have a follow-up with Harry Yost on May 5th for a preliminary plan concept that he wants to present. And lastly, the services of George Liboy and Desiree Niela has been hired. They have been hired to develop something for immigration, diversity, and discrimination documents, and wanting to lead by example. The municipality will take part in these sessions, and we are scheduled to participate sometimes in May. So these are sessions that will be offered to employees and members of council. Tourism public spaces, I'll speak about it a little bit later at 13.6 under new business. Housing action plan, the warden touched on it briefly in his report, but essentially the final draft was planned to the advisory committee. There were a few very minor revisions that the committee suggested. The final plan will be presented to the municipality by the consultants next week, and the plan or a version of the plan will be public not long after that, following the approval of council, of course. We also have a change order, as I said earlier in my report last month, with the contract with the consultant to continue our work with them so that they can help us with the implementation of a few of the key activities that they recommend in the report. So presently, the consultants are working on a statement of work, a revised statement of work, and they will submit it for our consideration soon. Asset management hasn't changed a lot, but our turn is approaching. We were at 491, and the federal government is now processing from 375 to 325. So I feel optimistic that by summer we should receive some news regarding our request for what is the fast EV chargers, the project that we are doing in partnership with the REN. We haven't had news yet from Natural Resources Canada. We were supposed to receive some news in mid-March, but in consulting with NRCan, they said that they would be in contact with us in a few weeks. So that was approximately 4 weeks of that, and we still don't have any news. So I know the REN is following up to see what the new deadline is and when we can expect to receive news of if the project has been approved or not. The sidewalks in Metagan, the plan has been revised. The preliminary plan has been revised by council, as well as the supervisor of public works. There was no revisions have been proposed at this time. I communicated with the Able Engineering Services, and the cost estimates we will receive the cost estimates soon. The tenders and the specs are ready. They were just waiting to see if we had any revisions. One of the revisions that I want them to consider is the material of choice, which is asphalt versus cement, because that obviously creates a difference in price. For what is the next steps, there are two really. The first is to submit the copy of the plan to Nova Scotia Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal, Pamela Melmon-Chan. The engineer submitted a plan, but she indicated that the preference is that the plan is submitted by the municipality, because we will be obliged to ask for the right-of-way permit. So, and the last step, and it will be a bit of a challenge, is to find potential funding sources for the project. We know that sidewalks are expensive, so ideally if we could find an infrastructure program that would allow us to make a partnership with the federal and provincial governments, it would be ideal to share the costs. The Clare Health Center, the generator, there is not much to say with that. The generator has been ordered. We are hoping, we think it will arrive in the first week of May. The ventilation and oil tank will be installed at the same time as the generator at the beginning of May. The rest of that project, the wiring, drilling, installation of the transfer switch, all that work has been completed, so we're just waiting for the generator. And finally, for our finances, on May 31st, 2021, municipality had 9,822,713 in revenue versus 9,378,931 in expenses, for a surplus of 433,782. Also on March 31st, 2021, the municipality had a balance of $727,894, $668 in his capital project, for a total of, in reserve, of $5,710,142. This amount can be ventilated in the following ways: the operational reserve, $2,175,477; the capital projects reserve, $2,706,969; and the landfill closure reserve, $333,703; and finally the gas tax reserve, $494,023. The gas tax is a little lower than usual because that's what we use to finance our high-speed internet project. That's my report, if you have any questions.
Okay. Any questions? If not, we will go on to 12, the committee reports. 12.1, building permits. Councillor Hill.
Permits, March of 2020, we had 24 permits for a total estimated value of construction of $1,574,000. And the previous March, we had 45 permits for a value of construction of $32,161,000. It looks a bit offside in the comparison, but it'll even out as the year goes on.
Any questions? If not, we will go to 12.2, Police Advisory Board. Councillor DeVoe makes the report, but he's not here tonight. Thank you. This is a report written in English. I will try to translate as we go. The advisory board met on April the 12th with Corporal Jeff LeBlanc. He indicated that there were 2 members of the RCMP in Meteghan, 2 new members, Ian Fernandez. He is now in Meteghan. The second member is arriving at the end of the month. Corporal LeBlanc presented his annual report for April 2020 to March 2021 for the Meteghan branch. The priorities that they indicated was the 3 following: road safety, the crime reduction, and senior security. He said that there was an investigation in Littlebrook for gunfire that took place a couple of months ago, and they are investigating it. Also, there were reports for a casino in Clare, and also some young women who are involved. So they are certainly investigating that situation. He said also, with the lobster fisheries, if there are concerns that present themselves after the fishing season is over at the end of May, they will have resources in place ready to address this situation. And the members of the 2 new members of the committee that were proposed by the municipal council are Angelique Leblanc and also John Chance, who would be named by the department. So that is almost all. He also said that there was an incident at the Clare Health Center. The results, it says, and thank you to the RCMP for answering to the situation as quickly as they could. And the RCMP is also looking at protocols to put in place to avoid situations in the future like that, or security situations. The corporal indicated that there are certain cases in the municipality, ongoing cases that are being investigated. Sometimes members of the public are frustrated with incidents that took place, and they call the RCMP often to find out why they didn't do this or do that, and that the person is still on the loose. But he explained that we can take a quick decision, but the results are not always good. So we need to take the time to investigate as we should. So that is the reason why it can take place. It can take time. So that is basically the report for the advisory committee on the RCMP. Any questions, Councillor Comeau? No, thank you. Thank you for the reports. We will go on to 13.1, motion to purchase a fire truck at Littlebrook Fire Department. According to our strategy to replace the fire trucks across the municipality, we created a plan, and inside that plan we established an order where the fire trucks will be replaced across the municipality. So we are starting the 4th year, and it's Littlebrook that should have a truck replaced. According to the list, Littlebrook is also in 6th position, but according to them, the truck in 6th position is still in good shape, can still serve the community and also in safety, and it still has a few years of service. But instead of purchasing 2 new fire trucks, that would mean $350,000 per truck to the municipality, or a total of $70,000, and a cost at the department also, because they have to finance the balance of that purchase, because the truck could go over $400,000. So what they propose, instead of buying 2 trucks, that they keep the truck that they have in 6th place, and that the municipality pays the 100% of the first truck. So the truck that they are asking to finance at 100%, the cost is $476,383, plus the non-reimbursed part of the HST. The total cost for the municipality would be $512,112. So I sat with the fire chief, as well as with members of the committee that is working on the new truck, and they all agree that this is how they want to proceed. So for us, if we compare this scenario versus purchasing 2 new trucks, the municipality will save about $187,000, which is certainly a good step for us. It will allow us to invest that amount towards another truck on the list, but also to go through our list more quickly and put the trucks on the road sooner. So the recommendation of the staff is that we accept the proposition of the Little Brook Fire Department and that we proceed with the purchase of a truck for an amount of $476,383 plus the non-rebated portion of HST for a total cost of $512,112. Anybody wish to make the motion?
Just before I make the motion, I'd like to say I agree with Stefan. I think it's a win-win situation for everybody, you know, and everybody else on the list is also getting bumped up, so I think it's a good idea. I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare approve the purchase of a new fire truck for the Little Brook Fire Department in the amount of $476,383 plus a non-rebated portion of the HST for a total of $512,102. $112.
Också sett appuyé par
That was seconded by Councillor Godin. Is there discussion on the motion? We've discussed it at several meetings. I think council thinks it's a good idea. That being said, are you ready for the question? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 13.2, motion to award a tender, refuse collection and disposal services, 21-20-26. This year, the municipality will renew its contract for refuse collection and disposal services. The existing contract will end on September 30th, so we put out a tender to invite companies to tender. We received two tenders, one from Wisco, which is our current supplier, and one from Gen N Excavating and Logging Limited. We evaluated both requests, and both were very strong. There were strong points in both of them. We looked evidently at the cost. We looked at the potential economic potential on the community, what they are considering with hiring people, the quality of the services, the experience in the field, etc. Both tenders were very similar, but at the end we decided to recommend the tender of GNN Excavating and Logging Limited for an amount of $450,000 plus HST per year for the period of October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. And there will be an increase of 5% per year for every year thereafter. An increase of 5%. Does someone want to move the motion? Councillor Potier? I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare award the refuse collection and disposal services 2021-2026 tender to GNN Excavating and Logging Limited in the amount of $450,000 plus HST for the period of October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022, and increasing by 5% per annum for every year thereafter. Seconded by Deputy Warden, if I saw correctly. There is a motion on the table. Is there any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. That's 13.3, motion to approve the 2021 volunteer fire department capital funding expenditures. As the finance director said earlier, every year we give an amount to the volunteer fire departments for the purchase of everyday equipment that they use, hoses, suits, air tanks, etc. This year, based on the 5 cents the 5 cent area rate, The amount that is available to them is $131, $138. So the volunteer fire departments have submitted their 5-year capital plans, and they are asking for, and if we look at what they're asking us to finance in the year, we are able to purchase essentially everything they need according to their plan. So the total amount would be $129,886. So there are, we have enough funds to cover those expenses. I presented the list earlier that summarizes every department what they want in terms of equipment, and the recommendation from the staff is to approve the list as presented. Someone want to move the motion? Councillor Dusa? I move that the council for the municipality of the district of Clare approve the 2021-2022 volunteer fire department capital funding expenditures as presented. Someone who wants to seconded by Councillor Hill. Is there a discussion on the motion? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 13.4, motion to approve municipal flagpole request, Société Acadienne de Clare. The Société Acadienne de Clare submitted a request to put a flag up on our community flagpole to put up the Pride flag from June 7th up to June 12th. We did approve the same request last year to the Société. The Société followed the process as it is in our policy, and the recommendation from staff is that we do approve the request, which is to fly the Pride flag from June 7th to June 12th. Someone who wants to make the motion? Councillor Godet? I move that the council of the municipality of the district of Clare approve the Société Acadienne de Clare's request to fly the Pride flag on the municipality's community flagpole in recognition of Pride Week from June 7th, 2021 up to and including June 12th, 2021. Seconded by Deputy Warden LeBlanc. Is there discussion? If not, all in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 13.5, motion to send a letter to the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal. That's essentially the letter with the list. Is that the... I can quickly summarize. It's concerns that were brought to us by residents of Deputy Warden's district regarding the condition of Lake Dowsett Road. The road is pretty bad. It needs some work. The shoulders are very narrow, which means that accessibility for people that have mobility issues, they don't feel secure to go on the road. So we would ask TIR to look at the condition of the road and the shoulder as well, with a lens, if you will, of the accessibility to make sure that the people can go on the road and feel secure. Do you want to make the motion? I move that the council for the municipality of the district of Clare send a letter to the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal, asking it to evaluate the Lake Dowsett Road in light of concerns relating to both safety and accessibility. Someone who wants to second the motion? Seconded by Councillor Patier. Is there discussion? I had a short discussion with MLA Gordon Wilson, and I think he's aware of the situation. It's pretty high on the list, so I think it's worth sending a letter it's worth sending a letter. I think it's a good thing. Is there some discussion? Ready for the question? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. Motion to approve funding, detailed design and engineering tourism spaces. This is just a follow-up to the discussion that we had with council and tourism manager and myself at the April 7th meeting, but also at the special session of council on April 14th. It's to continue the progress and continue to try to make this project move forward, which is to bring it to the next phase, that is to detailed design and engineering, to look at the project elements that we deem a priority. We have discussed a bit on what we see as being the priority. We had discussions with the province, and there seems to be a willingness there to possibly help with financing, but also with in-kind contributions in terms of planning and engineering. And for us, that would be a big help to make a few of the sites to go forward with some of these sites. I know Larry has also discussed with stakeholders from ACOA for specific projects that aim for a minority language communities, and the municipality of Clare qualifies. So I have spoke with someone from ACOA this morning. I can say that there's interest on their part to consider the request from the municipality under that program from EDI. So I saw that as very encouraging.
At the last meeting, on the 14th, we looked at the figures and look at what we are ready to consider, but it is a lot easier to go find some programs instead of investing ourselves. My recommendation would be to go forward with an investment of $50,000 from the municipalities, from our operational reserves, for detailed design and engineering for this project, with the understanding, Larry and myself, that we will go to see other funding agencies to cover this project. Does anybody wish to make the motion? And then we will have a discussion. Councillor Hill?
I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare approve funding for the detailed design and engineering phase of the Tourism Public Spaces project in the amount of $50,000 plus HST, and that these funds be taken from the municipality's operating reserve.
Any second that? Seconded by Councillor Doucette. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, no. Motion is carried. We will go on to 14, closed session. There is one item in camera, the acquisition and sale of municipal property. So we need a motion. Councillor Doucette, seconded by Deputy Warden LeBlanc, that we go in camera. All those in favor, yes. Contrary, no. Motion carried. Everybody online, good evening.